What did you say?
Mudda secret.
What?
Mudda secret.
Mudda sick. Mudda sick. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is another episode of Mudda Sick. Coming here live from Chosen Few Studios. This is like the second first time I'm actually gonna be on camera and doing one of these because I thought about speaking about this particular topic on audio, but I was like, I want to be very theatrical with this specific episode, especially what I am really about to get into today. But before we get into all that, what it is San Antonio Alexander, the Negus of Nassau, Lord Jaylin Willard at your service, and we welcome you to another episode of Mudda Sick. As per usual, if you would like to sponsor this show or any of our other properties here on the Original People Network, feel free to email us at theoriginalpeoplenetwork@gmail.com or slide in our DMs, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and more. We really got to do better with the TikTok, but you can go follow us on TikTok too. More content on the way. So, this episode was supposed to be about the shaking of things. How a lot of times, how in life you have to readjust what is your norm. And this comes through a myriad of self-reflection exercises and a series of events that if these happen inside your life, you would stop and take notice and say, I need to make a different change. I need to make a detour. I need to make some adjustments. Because a lot of times when we start to plan out things and encounter various situations, in order for us to succeed and continue on track, we have to deviate a little bit to the left, to the right, up, down a little bit first to just continue on the journey successfully. And this, I could get sort of like a great analogy for this is like, game time adjustments, whether it be in sports where you have a game time plan towards you and do this, and during the course of games, things change. So you have to adjust. And many people don't do that. So that what it was, I was going to go off in the different changes that I had to adjust in order to facilitate change and growth within my life. That's what I was initially going to talk about. But like I say, when a series of events happen in your life, you have to make adjustments. So today's topic is going to be entitled Laugh Now, Cry Later. And now we often hear this phrase constantly used in different forms. I don't know how I get this stain on my shirt or whatever this is. Because we often hear this used just, loosely, whether it becomes before delaying, I guess, consequences, like enjoy the moment now and then suffer later, which I would say is sort of similar to the phrase, laugh now, cry later, or cry now, laugh later. Either, you take the bad first and enjoy the good later, or enjoy the good. You all know what exactly, what I'm trying to say. But I think this phrase and the next coming phrase that I'm about to say is, I don't think we should use that too much when it comes to our path of growing. And I can tell you why. Because A phrase that is often used, and I see this happen, this phrase is happen, is used a lot when we're faced with a lot of dysfunction. And whether it be in organizations, relationships, life in general, we constantly use this function or this phrase. Now, I know that you're listening right now, you're asking, what phrase are you talking about, Justin? I am about to tell you what phrase it is. And this is commonly, I don't know about any other place. And it is probably maybe used in other places because, a lot of times people would say, insert location there is not a real place because the abnormal happens. The most ridiculous happens. The most unexplainable things happen. And a lot of times they may be sad situations, but because they're so outlandish and out of control, we just laugh it off. And me, for one, I have grown tired of laughing things off. I'm ready to address things because there's this ideology of putting off things and just being dismissive of them, and just laughing kiki and not taking things seriously and not addressing things properly. It's why we as a society cannot grow. We as individuals cannot grow. Because we wait and wait. Oh, let's say a crack in the wall, child. Someone punched this wall and there's a crack in the wall. And we just, oh, it's a crack, but I can fix that eventually. And then get back, I can fix it eventually. And then until the whole wall about to collapse and compromises the roof. That is when we take things seriously, is when the building about to fall down. Let me get into the phrase. I know you heard this before. And this phrase say, if you don't laugh, you would cry. I don't know if that's just a specific Bahamian phrase. Maybe others, if you're watching this right now, you could say, okay, we say this too where I'm from. Now, what does that really mean? Like, if you don't laugh, you will cry. Oftentimes, we use that phrase to say in situations to where it's like, things so tough, you have to find the joy in it. You have to find the comedy in the situation. Because if you don't find the comedy in the situation, you really express the turmoil that you feel from given situation or circumstance. Now, the funny thing about comedy is that comedy in a joke tells a lot of truths, but they're more easily digestible because a comedian would, dress up a truth. We hear it, and because of the presentation, how they're laying it out, we react from that stimuli in laughter. But there's a lot of truth that they're saying, because oftentimes the job of a comedian is to somewhat be a reflection of what's going on in society. Every great comedian has a bit about, current events or, different political or public figures or just everyday happenings. And they dress it up. And why we laugh at it? Because we know it's true. And we've been disregarding it so much to where when it's presented in a comedic form, you're like, mother, for real, like this really happens. But like I said before, I'm tired of that, man. Let me get to what I really want to say. So, a phrase that I have come from with that phrase is, if you don't laugh, you would cry. If you don't cry, you killed somebody. I'm gonna let that sink in right there. If you don't laugh, you would cry. If you don't cry, you would killed somebody. I'm gonna let that just sit right there. Now you might say, Lord Jaylin, what you mean by that? Are you threatening people? And I always was going to go into the reasoning for me saying that, But there was a moment in which I was going to further explain this, what happened recently. And I sort of glad that I didn't get to explain in that moment, because now I have content material to sort of go into what exactly I was meaning by that. So, actually, let me tell you a story how I had this public epiphany about it. So I was at a work function. We celebrating an anniversary of one of our products. Well, basically what I sort of play a role in on a daily basis. And at this function, this anniversary, I was awarded by the administration and my fellow colleagues as, I think the phrase was the cackle master. Yeah, I enjoy laughter. Obviously, those who listen to me and know me enjoy my laughter too. I know my laughter is infectious. That's why every time when I cut a whole anniversary video for Everything Cool, you get at least 10 seconds of just me laughing after, the first 15 seconds of a reflection of what happened over the last year, because laughter is the best medicine. But the thing about it is with laughter is that laughter releases the angst from the soul. Like you might be in a very bad mood. I feel the weight of the world on your shoulders. But if someone can make you laugh, all that just go away. And that's why I like to laugh, because I think a lot. I ingest a lot of information, and I might not have the most purest view of the world that surrounds me on a daily basis, whether it be past, present, or future. But I've learned to have gratitude and treasure the small moments. So anytime I get to chuckle, I'm a chuckle. And because I think so heavily, sometimes the jokes I visualize and is even much more funnier to me. And I have a very sick sense of humor too. So we also have to account for that. But I got on the mic and I was ready to make a clear statement. I actually add some context as to why I got such a bodacious laughter. As well as, I'm sick and tired of laughing things off. So I got on the mic. I said, thank you for this award. When it comes to my laughter, I know it's very contagious. But I live by this motto now, this new motto. If you don't laugh, you would cry. And if you don't cry, you would kill somebody. Everybody started in shock. Because what did he just say? And they thought I was going to laugh afterwards. And I was like, no, I'm serious. So I just saw a bunch of people just come and run to me trying to grab the mic. And I was like, no, I'm about to get into something real serious. Because I'm tired of laughing things off. And I'm tired as a society, as a country, as a community of laughing things off and constantly pushing aside the real issues and not addressing them. But that wasn't the opportune time to say that in that moment. And I graciously gave up the mic and went back to where I was. But that thought was on my mind, because they thought I was going to go into something where I was speaking something about mass genocide or something like that. But I'm somewhat of a philosopher, and I like to get deep. So let me break that down for the people that may be put off by that statement. First of all, back to the laughter component. Well, actually, when I went home that night to record with my sick, but I was like, nah, I need to get this on video. Because there's certain elements. First of all, I was thinking maybe it'd be outrageous if I rip the certificate. And I was like, no, I want to keep it. I'm probably going to put it somewhere around here. Probably going to be eventually be on one of these walls. But I want to make a demonstration after I make some points. Like I said earlier, laughter is the release, is the best medicine. But there comes a point in time where we really have to address the real issues. Whatever they may be in your personal life, different relationship dynamics, society, or whatever the case may be. Because you can't keep on just dismissing what it needs to have things that need urgent care and urgent addressing. And that's something I learned 2 years ago. It's like, yeah, I'm dealing with X, Y, and Z, and I need to do this, but I keep on putting it off, or this and that, making some excuse, or distracting myself by something's frivolous. Nah, I already addressed the problem. Because, see, when we don't address the issues, then the issues take control of us. So, laughing it off, when the laughter stops, the tears come. Because I always say this, in that moment you lay down at night, the real you comes out. And it ain't no more laughing. It ain't no more laughing. So, when there's no laughter, the real emotions come on, then there's tears. Tears of how you truly feel, tears of feeling helpless, hopeless. The situation's so big, you've been dealing with something. And then what happens after the tears? No one ever thinks about how we sort of project onto each other our internal turmoil. We just do it. And that's where the kill somebody, if you don't cry, you'll kill somebody component comes in. Now, killing somebody doesn't necessarily mean murder. That's not what I mean by that. And killing somebody don't just mean other people. It includes yourself as well. Because when I say you kill somebody, if you don't address the issues within yourself, you in turn start to project that on everybody else. And you sow more seeds of discord amongst you and your brethren. And you make more people's lives miserable. And you make more people's lives out of sorts because you're in this toxic state because you keep on laughing it off. You keep on finding some distraction, whether it be substance abuse, whether it be you doing other activities, whether it be whatever. You're not addressing the issue at hand. And because of this dismissive behavior, everything suffers. So you might not be pulling the trigger or using some weapon to maim somebody fatally, but you're adding to the extra stress that we already have to endure in this human existence. But we don't necessarily think about that because we're always also self-consumed, but we don't reflect on how we affect the environment that we daily, traverse to. So that's the slow death. The other slow death is you yourself. Putting off things, your quiet moments, you can't keep still, you always on the, we as human beings are meant to cohabitate with each other on various levels. But because we have made a lot of behaviors that are detrimental to us, so normalized, that's why you can't see people progress and grow. Because in my mind, a lot of times, I always just ask myself, am I just this smart or everybody just this stupid? And I don't think I'm the most brilliant person. So it ain't because I'm so smart and this and that. It's like, what is going on around with most people around me where we lack the self-awareness. We lack the thought to think, how would this affect the other person? And I figured it out. It's because we go by this mantra of, if you don't laugh, you don't cry. Nah. Certain moments it's great for laughter. I encourage laughing all the time. And it's good to cry too, because you need to release the angst out of your soul. Sometimes tears of joy, sometimes tears of pain, but it has to come out. And come out positively. It's okay to be in tune with your emotions. And that sort of adds to the killing somebody part as well. You're killing yourself. Because you want to be true to yourself. You want to be honest with yourself. And because you won't be honest with yourself, you won't be honest with everybody around you. So look how this thinking, this phrase can be detrimental to us as a society, us as a world. But because I can take the shades off of this, but because we continue to participate in behaviors that doesn't allow us to grow, that's why we're in the state we're in. So, however you want to take that, take it. As for me, you know what I learned, and this is where the bigger demonstration will come on. One, all these notions we have for ourselves, we have to get rid of what ain't true. You know, I setting that on fire right now. Because I had to light and burn. Okay, just making sure that this don't catch on fire. And it's actually burning, by the way. I'm going to put it up on camera 2. We have to get rid of the notions of what we think or what we say the status quo should be. You feel me? I in a position, I get the V Vendetta picture in the back of me. And I'm tired of living by the societal norm that don't mean us well. Just because this has been the status quo. Forget the status quo. Forget saying things that are comfortable. I'm ready for change. And I'm starting with that change. The change I want to see, I'm starting within me. So yeah, we can laugh now and cry later, but eventually the hour 2 coming to an end. As you can see, this paper is burning. But what I want people to understand today is that we have to show compassion for everybody. We have to understand that all of us are on this track called life. And we need each other to grow. And we can't be a hindrance to each other. But we can't be too so consumed with our own motives and goals not to look at how it's affecting the other person. This selfishness. That's why you can't get blessed. Because if you always can overly concerned about what I can get, then your hands can be tied. And saying to y'all think I planned, yeah, this paper burning for real. And I wanted to do that to the certificate just to demonstrate, but I ain't with it, but I like that certificate, so I ain't gonna do that. But I wanted to make a stance and make a claim in which, hey, I'm tired of laughing things, so I'm addressing everything. I'm not crying about things no more. I'm not laughing it off no more. I'm not dismissing it no more. I'm ready to tell the truth and be honest about everything, including truthful to myself. I remember it was a point where I was just like, bro, you're a loser. Not because you are a loser, but because the actions that you're doing and the way you're going about things are in a losing fashion. And when I came to that reality and sort of picked myself up and talked to myself and then, talking to God and started getting a little bit more clarification and direction, it's like, I have to change. If I want better for myself, I have to change. And then to that kill part 2, when we dismiss everything, then you have, and I consider this right now, because people think I'm joking. there's gonna come a time when most people stop laughing and stop crying because we're so desensitized by reality. And that's why you're seeing random people just all this murdering and things like that, because we're slowly becoming desensitized to our existence because we have not taken different social ills seriously. We just laughed it off. See, that's what laughing off causes. It causes a whole, we bring in a whole generation of new people that just willfully throwing their lives away. Just willfully. Over the most menial things, So that's why today I'm putting the fire. I need a large camera. I'm putting a fire. No more laughing things off, and this ain't no joking matter no more, dog. We can burn it. And I like this is how this is a newspaper. We ain't carrying no more news. This ain't no more jokey vibe no more. This serious mind things. And if you want to change, you got to be serious about it. So take for instance, this thing burning right now. This is all what you believe. This is all what you perceive. You see it ain't doing, let me move this from the switcher. You see this ain't doing well, when what you believe and perceive, once fire get to it, guess what happened? It burns. Now you see, it ain't no more. And I think I can stop right there with that. Because I watching this fire because I ain't trying to burn down the place. But you gotta say, my mother's sick. All your false promises and the lies you built yourself off of. It's just like vapor. Once you burn it, all it is just ash. All it is just ash. Things you was written about you. I know which paper this is. And it looked like okay, yeah. All them lies you believe, all them lies you tell yourself. Once you put that fire, you put that in the light. Even when you put it in the light, you can't even see it. Because it's just all false. We always want to dismiss. And this is a little insert. Do we ever even think about how we work all week and just hustle for a weekend? Like even just the thought about I work in 40 hours a week just to hustle to go to happy hour on a Friday. Do the same thing every weekend and then come back on Monday and do the same thing. It's things like that and other things. I can't really think about them and name them off. But just that particular process and notion, I'm just tired. I'm tired of living within these social norms and saying this is how it's supposed to be, because it really doesn't need to be this way. And you don't have to have it play out this way. I just really supervise sometimes. Because I always think to myself, there has to be more to life. There has to be more to having a thought process, whatever, and don't necessarily, like I say, because people always like to go to, hey, okay, you abuse substance abuse and whatever that item of substance may be. But it's more than that. We abuse so many other things just to cope with this reality other than addressing it. But I say no more. Nah. Sick and tired of that, man. I'm sick and tired of just letting things just let it be, because it is what it is. And even though I said that a lot, and because I can't control people or control the situation, and that's just my personal coping mechanism to just be like, it's out of my hands. That's fine for those moments. Whatever is in my hands, I'm gonna change. Because I ain't just sitting by and allowing all kind of foolishness or just being subjected to insert here just happen. And that's the next chapter in my life that I'm looking forward to. The change. And hopefully y'all stay tuned and take this ride with me, because things will gonna be changed. Because I ain't laughing things off no more. Serious mind time. With Mudda Sick. Thank you for listening to another episode of With Mudda Sick. I need to do more of these videos, but I gotta have something good. But like I always say, don't laugh, don't cry. Don't get to the point to where you lose your humanity and you'll care for the sanctity of life, including yours. Address your problems. Address the elephant in the room, even though it might be uncomfortable. And live within your truest self. Stop lying to yourself. Be honest with yourself and make a change. So, even though they say laugh now, cry later, address it now. But if you want to sponsor this show, any other platform, any other mic brands, feel free to slide in our DMs, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram for more, as well as TikTok, as well as the Original People Network at gmail.com for more things. I like do all these things and providing context to some of my hot button phrases. But thank y'all for watching. It's been fun to do, and I didn't burn out of place. But I can get y'all later. Yeah, you see.